Hello and welcome to part 2 of the Malad Welsh Festival 2025 preparation. I'm Jeff, and my channel is the Chip Off the Old Block Boys. We did part 1 earlier. I laid out as many pieces as I could, and then I had to stop because I couldn't find pieces and I didn't want to bore you. But now I do have those pieces laid out quite a bit, and we'll get as far as we can. I doubt we'll finish tonight because I do have an interview in the morning, so I'll just go as far as I can, and we'll call it quits there. Let me go ahead and switch cameras, and it looks like I did not adjust one of my settings properly, so I will be gone for about 20 seconds here. Oh, I'm back, and I'm going to go ahead and just start building here. And this will be a repeat for some of you, especially if you watched part 1. Basically, it is kind of a longer story, but I'll tell you how it goes. About a year ago, my lug was invited to the Malad Welsh Festival. It's kind of like the Renaissance Festival in a way, but not quite. And my lug had to decline only because, well, we had another show scheduled for the same exact time. And I, at the time, had a full-time job, so I thought that I'd be going to the other one, the one that my lug was doing down in Nevada, Ely, Nevada. But little did I know that I was going to lose my job in time, and I could no longer afford to go. So I thought, okay, we're not doing it, because my lug said no, and I was going with them, right? So I kind of forgot about the Welsh Festival. Not kind of, I actually did forget about it. And then roughly about 1 o'clock this afternoon, I went to the post office, which means I have to pass by the park where this event takes place. And while I was there, I realized that, oh my goodness, I could go. I could legitimately go because I don't have a job. I already turned down my lug for their show. This is a local show, which means I can afford to go because I'm spending money on hotels and stuff. And so I got a hold of the organizer and I said, hey, is there still room? And he says, well, yes, there is. So at last minute, I got added to the event, and well, this is where we're at now. I'm preparing for the event. They requested a castle scene, obviously, like I said, it's kind of a Renaissance festival in a way. So I had already destroyed this particular set, the Lionsgate Castle, and so I was forced to figure out how to do this last minute. So I'm going to go ahead and set this aside because the next part is different. I am honored to be a part of this show. I lived in a small town for about 3 years, and well, in that time, I've always wanted to give back to the community in some sort of way. And if I could just give back in any small way, including just being a part of the festival, well, that's what I want to do. They have invited me back already for next year. So over the next year, you'll see me make some upgrades to the system. And what I mean by that is I know that the Siege set is coming out with a Bricklink Design 4. And in fact, I really wish it was here because they just charged my credit card, which means it's shipping, but it's not going to be here in time for the show. I would like to set up a couple different castles, on a table about this size, and have them stage for war against each other, and make that my display for this show. I think that would be really cool, and I look forward to next year. But For this year, this is all the time that I have. So I'm going to do what I've got and just do the best. So, and I appreciate every one of you that's here right now. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of my stream. If you guys have this Lions Gate set, I'd love to hear it. Or if you want to get it, that kind of thing, I'd love to hear about what you think about this set. Now, I already built this on my channel, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago when it first came out. But like I said, I didn't have any room, so I wrecked it and put it away. And now, well, I'm finding out I probably shouldn't have wrecked it because now I need it. And I have to do this whole entire thing all over again. So anyway, but I think you all can understand the limitations of space, especially when it comes to Lego, because you most likely need a flat surface. And in my household, flat surfaces are hard to come by, and that's just the way it goes. So I took this one apart with the intention of never rebuilding it or building it later on. And well, here we are, and I need it now. So, okay. Oh, I forget. So if you guys have built this one, I'd love to hear it. Like I said, I think this is a great set. I think it was around $300 when it came out. I can't remember. It's, like I said, I've had it for a couple of years when it first came out. And in fact, let me look up on Bricklink when it came out. 2022, 3 years ago. Oh, boy, time flies. 4,392 pieces and 22 minifigures. All right, well, let's continue building here. Well, sticking to me. It's kind of warm in here. I turned off the air conditioner because it's kind of loud. If it gets too hot, I will turn it back on. I think it's loud, but I've asked people on my streams, and they say that they can barely hear it, like a low hum, but I'm always conscious about that. Anyway. I hope you guys are having a good evening. As you can imagine, at the beginning of my day, I had no plans to attend this festival, and then now all of a sudden I am attending the festival, so my world's been turned upside down just for a couple of days. And if you're following my channel otherwise, the schedule that I gave out in yesterday's live stream is no longer good. I'm not going to be doing that schedule mainly because of what's going on here. What I'm going to do is, as much as I can, I'm going to build, actually not as much as I can, as often as I can, I'm going to build this one and the Forest Stronghold on the channel here before the festival. I'm going to build all of it here on camera. And so, therefore, I won't be able to do the schedule of the live stream, and I'll just have to pick it up some other time. Oh, put that on me. I do like this little scene thing going on here, and I'll turn it around so you guys can see it here. King Cookie, how you doing, man? How's your evening going? I guess it's early morning in most places. But I will turn this around as soon as I'm done with this little section. Yeah, that's fine. I'm dog sitting. That's Gertie. She's a great caring. She's just making noise here. So we have like the inside of it here. I couldn't find the target thing for this. It's probably somewhere in here, but I'll find it and put it on later. I decided to skip it because it's hard to find them. I don't think it'd be that hard to find as more of these pieces kind of dissipate. And I don't know if you guys have ever like just dumped out a big set like this, all the bags at once, but it's a pain in the rear. And there comes a point where you hit critical mass. And what I mean by that is, at first, finding the pieces is really, really hard, and each piece is almost unbearable. Kidding, I'm being dramatic there. But it is hard to find them. And then after a while, you get enough pieces built on the set and off the table, and it becomes easier and easier to find pieces to get left to go through. And so I don't think that I'm at the critical mass of this set yet. I think I have a little bit before I get there, but I think I'm close to it. So like I said, I'm just going to go as far as I can on this set until I get tired. Like I said, I have an interview in the morning, a job interview, and hopefully we can get far enough though so that tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon even, I can do another live stream and hopefully finish this one up and start the other one. So, let's see. I really don't remember building this one all that much. Oh, look at building the edge there. Use more. For those who don't know me, I'll give you a brief rundown of my life. I'm a Navy brat. My dad was in the Navy, and I grew up mostly in California. That's my dad stationed a lot. He was stationed in California 3 different times, and the reason for that is my dad's job in the Navy was to operate the P-3 Orion, which has been since replaced with the Poseidon, and those are the sub-hunter planes. And obviously, you have to live on the coast. So, my family has been stationed in Hawaii, like I said, California 3 times. And so, anyway, I do kind of claim California in a large way as being my home, just because of the amount of time that I spent there. But it was kind of hard to call anywhere home when, you know, you haven't spent much time anywhere. And it looks like I messed up, but it looks like the pieces I need are pretty readily available. I'll skip the step, which yeah, that's my bad. But yeah, grew up in a Navy family. My dad retired when I was about 9, so that means I got to finish high school in California. And then as a young man, I moved to Utah, and then I moved out of Utah. And probably one of the best moves I ever made. I'm just kidding. Utah's really not that bad. It's actually really beautiful. And then I met my wife. We got married. We had 4 kids. My 4 kids are now all adults. And we have 2 grandkids. I now live in Idaho, kind of all places. And I love living in Idaho. It's beautiful. And I do live somewhat close to my parents. Close enough to visit them about once every 2 weeks or so. Okay. All right, now we have to put this little hinge piece on. Okay, so there we have it. We've got the 2 sections together. We've got the 2 sections laid out here and done. Now we just got to continue going over here. I don't do very well when I build upside down, so I will build backwards upside down for as long as I can, and then I'll flip that over. I apologize for that, but that's just how I roll. Actually, I can't do it. I'm sorry. Looking at it, it just looks too weird. Okay. Like I said, I try to keep the air conditioner off, but warm up here. I'm in a loft, so all the heat in the house just ends up here. And it's summertime. I'm getting a lot of heat, so I might be flipping it on in just a minute. So this is just the beginning of this, like I said. I've been asked to return next year, and if I return next year, then I will go ahead and do more of a layout. I will have a fight scene as it is, like I said. But the advantage of doing it this way is I will have a whole entire year to prepare for it. Wow, it doesn't take very long to get through these. I thought it would take longer. I laid out as many as I could with the space that I had, but I'm like 15, 16 minutes into it. Already it's I'm almost out of pieces, but I'm also to the point where it's not, I don't think it's too hard to find most pieces because a lot of the pieces are taken up or used up or whatever you want to say. But I'm going to go as far as I can. All right, so if you've watched my channel, you'll also know that I am a fan of the news of the weird and also strange laws. And strange laws are things that were passed that maybe at one time they made sense, sometimes they don't at all. And then other times they never made sense, but through time, things have changed and they no longer make sense to be on the books, but they're still on the books. And so I like to do weird laws, and I also like to do news of the weird. And so, in keeping with that, I will share my first story of news of the weird. And I like to read it. I do change it a little bit, but here we go. Unclear on the concept, called this one. At Chicago O'Hare Airport on May the 17th, a lost DoorDash driver made it past a security gate and onto the tarmac, driving a significant distance before being stopped by airport personnel. The 36-year-old driver stopped near a grounded aircraft and showed the food receipt and meal he was trying to deliver. He was released without being arrested or any citations. However, the security employee at the gate was fired of her duties, and after letting the car pass through her post. Yeah, makes me feel very comfortable at airport security and how, not trying to be political, but how they want to do secondary inspections on grandma, but just let a random driver in. Yeah, sure, why not? That sounds real safe. I love the use of the hinge pieces on this. This was absolutely awesome how they did this. They did a great job on it. These hinge pieces allow something special to it. Okay. All right, I need to turn this around and we're going to do some flooring in here. I will try my hardest to do it upside down. Like I said earlier, I don't do very well, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway. What the heck? I didn't do that. I hate when computers do what they want. This is what we tell them to do. Okay, somehow I skipped over, I don't even know where that came from. I laid out pieces that have nothing to do with this. Okay, well, I am at the end of my laid out pieces, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue building. It's going to take me a little bit longer, but I might have to fish through some pieces to find things, but I'd like to keep going just because I only have 2 days. Well, really just a day now because it's past midnight. I don't have that long to build this, so hopefully we can get through this together. And it is a lot easier to find pieces on it than when I first started building this. That is definitely true. I'm going to turn on the AC, guys. I'm burning up in here. Okay. So what we've done here is a little bit of the flooring. I'm sure we have more flooring to go. Just wanted to show you that. Well, some of you know that my birthday was on Sunday. I turned 50. And I've had a few people ask me, and I think they mean it in jest, but I answer them half serious, half not. And the question I get is, does it feel any different than being 49 to be 50? And I tell them no. It hurts just the same. And that is very true. At my age, I often wake up with something hurting, and you know, part of being older. All right, so we did this little section here, and I'm sure it's going to keep going. All right, so yes, it will. This section here, and I just saw that piece that goes there. So hopefully I could find it again quickly. There it is. And I need 7 of those. Okay. Well, let's get this part done. I love the brick here because it shows decay, and I build this in my city. And if you don't know, building cities is my main part of my channel. What I do, I do some product reviews. I'm getting away from those because I'm not a Lego ambassador, so I don't get the sets weeks in advance, and I really hate to say it, but because I do it late, I don't get that much of viewership, and the cheesy reviews that you get from the from the Lego ambassadors, the ones where they can't bash the product, seem to be more popular than an honest review, and I'm okay with that. It helps me to save my money and to buy parts on things that I feel like buying, and that is for my city mostly. Okay, I can only find 4 of these. I'll get the rest some other time. I'll find them as I'm doing this. And in fact, after I stop here, whatever pieces I did not get, like any of them that are missing, I will put them on before I do the next live stream. Hello, Breastfield. You're up late. How you doing, bud? We're actually, you're in Australia, right? So I guess for you, it's not late. I apologize. I have to realize that not everyone's on the same time as me. And Breastfield, the reason I'm up so late is that I got invited to the Welsh festival here in town. It's like a Renaissance festival, and my channel was invited to display at the show, and I'm very excited about this. And anyway, I just got invited today, and the show's on Friday, and so they want me to do a castle theme because of it being a Renaissance. And so I'm sitting here pulling out my hair, trying to get all this done, and it is partially my fault because they invited my lug to the show about a year ago. My lug turned them down, and so I thought I wasn't going. I didn't prepare for it, but then I lost my job, and when I lost my job, all of a sudden I couldn't go to the same show as my lug because I don't have the money to go. And when I was going by the event today, I saw them setting up, and I was like, well, wait a minute, they did invite me, so for my lug. So I went and talked to the organizer, because I know him personally. He lives down the street from me, and I just asked him if I was still able to go, and he said, of course. And so, with 2 days' notice, I am getting ready for this show, and hopefully I won't disappoint. 8 a.m. Okay, you're in UK. All right. I couldn't remember. I thought Australia was awesome. How are things in the UK, man? As they say, back in the USSR, right? No, I'm just kidding. I know you're not USSR. And hey, Order, how you doing? It's good to see you guys, man. Thanks for joining me. I thought I was going to be lonely here tonight. I just decided to, like I said, stay up and do this. And then I got a job interview in the morning, so I will do this for a while, and then I'm going to head to bed, but I'm going to get as far as I can tonight before I get tired. And once I get tired, I'm going to cease the stream and get going. Now, I can't find the rest of the pieces for this. And of course, I say that when I find a major piece. So I actually am only missing one piece. So let's see if we can find that one piece. Yes, I did. There we go. Okay, let's get this in there. I love how they have a piano in this. It's so awesome. Ooh. Let's see, what did I do that right? Actually, I grabbed the wrong piece. I need one without the hole in it. All right. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh, okay. Let's there we go. So we have the piano, which I think, like I said, is really cool. I have a sister that grew up playing the piano. And my parents had a piano up until about 2 years ago. And I was really mad at my parents because, to be honest with you, the piano was very old and valuable. It was built in 1800. And granted, it looked like it was kicked in the mouth a few times. But, you know, the right person, they could have restored it and it would have been worth a lot of money. And my parents literally took it to the dump and threw it away. Or they had somebody do that. So I was kind of upset with them because that's treasure lost. And the question is, do you do Bricklink full time? I do not. I do it as much as I get orders for, and it's enough money to sustain me to do my city and buy a few Lego, but not many. My wife has a full-time job, and so between that and Bricklink, and I also have an Etsy store where I sell Akro-Mils dividers. Between all those, I have enough money to just barely get by. But I do have a job interview in the morning, so I'm hoping that I get that job. And I know it seems kind of funny because, I mean, some people are going to make fun of me for the job that I'm getting, mainly because I have a degree and I'm taking a job. I'm going for a job at a gas station. But not that I feel I need to explain myself, but I will tell you why. And the reason why I'm going for a job at a gas station versus something in my field is that I don't want to travel to work. I live out in the middle of nowhere, and the closest big city is an hour away. And traveling 2 hours a day for a job, by the time I get home, I'm exhausted, and I don't have any time anyway because I spent all my time on the road. And not only that, it also forces me to have to buy a vehicle sooner, and I just don't want to do that. So I don't mind working at a gas station for a little bit less because I won't be going through a vehicle and I won't be spending my money on gasoline, or petrol, as you guys call it. I'm not trying to make fun of you. Actually, I think it's cool that you guys have different names for the same thing. What was it? When I was in college, I took a marketing class, and in the marketing class, I was dying laughing because of a mistake that an American company made in the UK. They said the greatest, the best napkin you'll ever put on your kitchen table. And my understanding, if I remember the story right, this has been 20 years ago, that in the UK, a napkin is actually a diaper. But in the US, a napkin is actually something you use at the dinner table to wipe your mouth with. So the difference in languages got lost. They didn't do their research. And so they had an embarrassing moment where they called something a napkin, which was kind of inappropriate. But yeah. I think that was a Kimberly-Clark company, if I remember right. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, you still find it crazy how Pop Block Shop does it full time. and now has his house paid off. That guy is selling a lot of parts. Yeah, he must be moving a lot of parts. Of course, it all depends too what area of the country he lives in, because where I am at, housing's a little more expensive, and that's just because I'm so close to the Salt Lake area. And Salt Lake in the last several years has just taken off, and it's obnoxiously expensive. I'm outside of Salt Lake, so it's a little cheaper than Salt Lake, but not much cheaper than Salt Lake. And I don't want to go too much further out because my parents are in their 80s, and I don't know how much longer they'll be around. So I want to spend as much time with them as I can. And if that's the consequence I have to pay is to, do this, do what I'm doing, that's fine. And my parents, I know, appreciate having me around because I live a little over an hour from them. Like last week, I was over there spraying for weeds, and my dad just can't do that stuff anymore. So that is nice. And I would like to figure out a way to do something like Bricklink full time or YouTube, but YouTube's being a bit stingy. They're funny. They keep sending me the email saying, "Congratulations, you can be monetized now." And then I click on the link and it says, "Oh, you don't qualify." And it's like, they sent it to me 4 times. It's like, okay. Porter, I hear that. I'm in Maryland, which for whatever reason is quite expensive as yet. I don't want to ask where you live in Maryland for privacy reasons, but I will tell you that my wife and I were stationed at Fort Detrick at one time, and we looked at getting a house, and there was just no way. It is, I agree with you, it is excessively expensive there. So yeah, anyway, I can relate there. We were there, let's see, 2011, 2013, I think. My memory is a little fuzzy on that. I'll blame it on being 50. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, we lived there for a while. You're in Annapolis. Okay, no. I've been to Annapolis. I worked for a company that used to send me there every couple of weeks because they were in Rockville, Maryland. But I got to use the company car, and I got to travel there every now and again. And like I said, about once a week. So anyway, I know the area. What was the name of it? I worked for Excel HR, but the company, the main company, that was the main company. The secondary company was like an aviation company. I'm trying to remember because I didn't, it's been so long. It started with a B, I remember that. And yeah, I worked there for not very long, about a year. That company, I don't know, I didn't like really working there, and so I had an off-the-job injury, and when I came back to work, they just said, "Hey, thanks, but no thanks, get out of here." And I said, okay, because I didn't want to work there anyway. So it was no skin off my nose for them to say no thanks. All right, hopefully I can find the rest. I need a plate here with a clip on it, and then I need a piece here. So let me see if I can find that. I found this piece here. And one more. And I do think Annapolis is pretty. In fact, when I lived in D.C. area, just a little south of D.C., you might know Fort Belvoir, just south of it. And when I lived in that area, it was awesome because we lived, I think it was 5 Lego stores within an hour. Yeah, it was 5 because in the DC, just south of DC, there's Potomac Mills Mall, Fashion Place Mall, and Tyson's Corner Mall. And each one of them has a Lego store. And then if I went to Annapolis, there was another one. And then I went up to Baltimore, there was another one. So yeah, I was within an hour of 5 stores. And I shamelessly admit that when I lived there, I used to go to all 5 stores on a Saturday and pick up sets. Since Lego used to limit you to just, well, you know, I don't know how many sets, like I think it was 2, if I remember right. I used to go to all 5 stores, and my wife would come with me. Sometimes I'd bring a kid, hand them a credit card, and we ended up picking up as many sets as we could so we could resell them, even though Lego does not like resellers. And I still think they don't like resellers. So if you look at what they've done with Bricklink, every time a piece becomes kind of expensive, all of a sudden Lego comes out with it in a set, and sometimes it doesn't even make sense why they have it in a set, but they crush the price of it by flooding the market, or they'll put it on pick-a-bricks, another thing they do. And Lego's become very good at doing that. But yes. All right, gotta look for some more pieces, guys. Like I said, I got as far as I could, and then after that, I just started the live stream because I ran out of space to lay out my pieces. And this is a real kind of, you know, if I'm being honest, it's a pain in the rear because there's just so many pieces to this thing, having it laid out like, but, you know, I don't mean to complain. I do like this set, and I don't mind building it again. I just wish it wasn't underneath the circumstances of being pressured to get it done so quickly. Like, I almost need an assistant to help me with that. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so got these stairs done, and then all right. Yeah, 5 minutes from Annapolis Mall or West. I can go to the brick wall as much as I want. That's very dangerous for my wallet. Yeah, yeah, I can imagine, man. That's kind of what I mean, I love living out here because of the solitude. However, I do admit there's times that I don't like living here, and that's because I'm just so far from everything that the closest Lego store is about an hour from me. And if I go another 30 minutes south of that, there's another Lego store, but there's just not a whole lot. So again, it makes it hard for me to do reviews anymore because, well, I just don't know. You know, I mean, it takes me a while to get the sets unless I drive and get them, and that's just too far. There's no guarantee I'm going to get them, especially on opening day, unless I go early. And I mean, like super early, because I have to leave here early enough to get the Lego store before it opens. And I'm not trying to complain. I'm just telling you what the situation is. That's one of the reasons I'm kind of turning away from it and focusing more on the city. I like building my city anyway, more than I like anything else. And, whether YouTube was here or not, I would be building my city anyway. I've always built cities, and yeah. Okay, let's see. Oh, just once. Okay, I thought I saw that twice. All right, let me quit smoking something. All right. And like I said, it's kind of getting easier to build this thing because um, now it's like there's not as many pieces laying on the table, and it does make it easier to find stuff. If you're following my channel and my progress of my city, I did I did get enough money through Bricklink sales to buy another bag of insulation, and with the cutout of the 3 windows on that wall, I do believe that one more bag, if it's not enough, it'll be dang close to being enough to finish the insulation in that western wall, which will help out tremendously because that place really heats up because the sun just beats on it for about noon all the way to 9 o'clock at night. So it will be nice to have that sealed up, and here shortly it will be all sealed up. So, okay, let me make sure I have everything. I can't find that piece that goes there. I think it's only one in this set, so. And I'm sorry if this swishing around loud. I kind of think it is. Oh, I found it. Sweet. All right. Well, thanks, Hoarder, for being here. He says, well, it's 3:15 a.m. here, so I'm going to try to get a few more hours of sleep. Happy building. I appreciate you being here for the time you were. Thank you. And I hope to see you soon, by the way. But yeah, tomorrow's going to be a big day for me in general. I've got a lot going on tomorrow. And also, yeah, just got a lot going on tomorrow. I got to try to finish this, and then I got to do the mountain fortress. So we'll try to get it all done before the show, hopefully at least, right? Okay, so I need some wedge plates. Found one. Need 3 more of different angles and sizes. Let me look over here. I found one. No, it's the same. Shoot. They're all different. So the other thing too that I want to mention is that I'm also at a point in my life where if I had just a little bit more saved, I could be semi-retired or fully retired actually. And so I don't need the high-paying, high-stress job anymore. And in fact, I'm really not interested. All right, well, I can't find that, so I'm going to skip it. Hopefully I don't need it like right away. If I do, I'm gonna, well, actually I do need to shoot. The next step is cover it. Okay. Well, let's see if I can make good use of it and find it. We just need it right there. So let me swish around a little bit. I found a piece I was looking for earlier. Well, I can't seem to find that little piece. And I need it to continue. Like I said, I've gotten pretty far with getting rid of pieces, but there's still a lot on the table here. So I'm going to see if I can kind of just build around it, which, of course, I just said that, and the next one builds upon it even more. So I really need to find it soon, but I'm going to try to go without it for just a little bit. Huh. Oh, well, that, okay. Let's see what I can do here. Okay, I do need that piece there, that little wedge. I'm going to see if I can find it. I'm going to make one more attempt here. I am finding other pieces that I need too, so I'm going to go ahead and set those aside. And the reason I'm determined to find it is that I have ended streams when I can't find a piece like that. And those pieces troll me because as soon as I turn off the camera, I look down and there it is. So I don't want to end the stream because I'm still not tired enough to go to sleep. But I need to find it because if I don't, it's going to get in the way of going much further, and I'm going to have to end the stream just because I can't find it. So no complaints, just complaining. Let me look at it from the other side. Sometimes looking at things the other direction helps out. All right, well that piece is being really difficult. I'm going to see how much further I can go without it. I wished I was looking for this other piece that I now need. I was looking for that one, but I didn't realize I needed it. All right. I found the other piece that I needed. And I don't know if I've told you guys this, but one of my long-term goals, especially because of the small town I live in, I want to help the town out, kind of put it on the map, if you know what I mean. Um, I would love to have a Lego museum in this town. I think that would draw people here. Now, I'm years off from being able to do something like that because I don't have the funds. But if I could swing that, I would love to have a Lego museum. And you might think it might be a little far-fetched to think of a museum, but I have about 2,000 sets, and very few of them are duplicates. Most of them are, I just have one. So I would love, like I said, to do that number. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to try to build without it because here's where it ends, as it becomes a just a wall. I did pull these little round pieces out. There were so many of them in the set, they were getting in the way. And so I pulled them out and I stuck them in a little drawer right here along the corner one. Okay. Now we got to do the rest of those. I do very much like this rounded top here. I think it does the castle wall justice compared to the jagged ones of the 80s and 90s. Yeah, keep in mind that I'm bypassing this because I'm missing the wedge. But if I find it, I'm going to go back right away and just throw it on there. So kind of a temporary sort of stopgap measure that I'm doing. Okay, so I need a few more pieces that are tiled. So let me see if I can locate them. Hopefully I'll find that wedge piece while I'm at it, right? No luck on the wedge piece. I am looking for a wedge tile as well. There's so far no luck, but I don't think it's going to matter if it's missing if we keep going. So let's see what other damage we can do here. as my friend Regina says, now you're cooking with some gas. I say that because I found some pieces that were needed. All right. But I'm also not finding some pieces that are needed. Sometimes I feel like building with Lego is like playing a giant memory game as a kid. You know, because you have to kind of remember the general area you found that piece and go back and get it later. All right, let's see if I can. I'm gonna have to move on without this. I can't find it, so I think we'll be okay because it's in the open. Yeah, it's in the open, so we'll be okay for now. That closes up real quick, I'll be in trouble. And what kills me is I came across hundreds of these. Came across a lot of them. I couldn't find it. Now Anita can't find it. Pretty typical Lego as well. Oh, that requires a piece that I don't have right now. All right, I'm gonna go. Oh, I found one of them. So okay, we built a little fireplace here next to the piano. I'm missing a few pieces here, a few pieces here, and a few pieces there. I'm gonna swish around for those real quick. Hopefully I find them rather quickly. Okay, well, I am having no luck in that department. Okay, let's see if we can. Oh, okay. Starting to get to the point where I can't go much further without these pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here, get some sleep before my interview tomorrow, and then tomorrow, probably late afternoon is what I'm thinking, or maybe even dinner time, I will resume this live stream. Meanwhile, I will find the pieces and fill it in so that when I start this, we'll be starting with pieces laid out and ready to go. If you guys have liked this live stream, give it a like if you would. And if you would, leave me a comment below and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. All right, guys, be good to each other and stay safe out there. And I'll catch you on the next one.